Mapleshade's Vengeance. Chapter 7. Mapleshade trekked back to the forest, skirting the edge of Windclan under cover of darkness and heading for ThunderClan's border with Two Leg Place. She knew she would have to wait for Frecklewish to pass by on patrol. Even then, Mapleshade would need the luck of StarClan to get the she-cat alone. She plunged into the lush green grass at the foot of two-leg fences, then scrambled up and over the wooden barrier, dropping down into the small, strongly scented enclosure on the other side. Almost at once, a fat gray and white tom heaved himself through the tiny flap on the side of the two-leg den and lumbered toward her, mewling. "Get out of here! You're one of those stinking forest cats, aren't you? My housefolk don't want you in their backyard. Shoo!" Mapleshade waited until the kitty pet was a mouse length away, then shot one paw and raked his face. The kitty pet leapt backward, screeching. Blood dripped from his blunt muzzle. "Ow!" he wailed. Mapleshade stayed where she was. The kitty pet glared at her through screwed-up eyes before turning and shuffling back to the den. When the flap banged shut behind his plump haunches, Mapleshade studied the enclosure. A tree grew beside the fence with broad enough branches to support her, and dense enough leaves to hide her from view. She would wait there for Frecklewish. She scrambled up the tree and settled on a bough that looked out over the forest. She had caught a squirrel at 4 trees and drunk from a stream, so her belly was comfortably full. Resting her chin on her paw, she let herself doze, one ear pricked for any sound from below. At dusk, 4 ThunderClan warriors came past, creeping along the bottom of the fence as if they feared the kitty pets were about to attack. Mapleshade curled her lip in scorn. She had thought her clanmates were braver than that. Frecklewish was not among them, though. As night fell, Mapleshade dropped down from her branch into the long grass, hoping to hunt. ThunderClan's scent surrounded her, and for a moment she felt a pang of longing. Then she pictured her clanmates driving her and her kits away, and thought of Frecklewish watching her kits drown, and her fury returned. She quickly caught a black bird that was wrestling with a worm and carried it back to the tree. Behind her, the gray and white tom was bundled out of the den by a cross-sounding two-leg. Mapleshade watched the kitty pet squat on the grass, its eyes huge with fear, then raced back inside. "Ha! He knows this territory is mine now." Mapleshade slept fitfully, the bark digging into her belly fur and sending a damp chill through her bones. She woke with the first glimmer of dawn, feeling pangs of hunger. The blackbird had been old and scrawny. Mapleshade scanned the forest for signs of movement. All was still beneath the trees. She jumped down for a moment and padded into the ferns, scanning for prey. A tiny rustle alerted her to a mouse scrambling at the foot of a sycamore tree. Mapleshade stalked forward, hoping her flashes of white fur wouldn't startle her prey. The mouse was intent on nibbling a seed, so Mapleshade was able to pounce unseen, killing the creature with a single blow to its neck. Then she froze. She heard voices. Bloomheart was among them, directing his patrol to split up and hunt before meeting again at the lightning-struck elm. There wasn't time to get back to the two-leg fence, so Mapleshade crouched beneath a clump of bracken with her fresh kill, paws stepped closer, then a glimpse of a pale brown fur through the green stems. Frecklewish! StarClan had brought her right to Mapleshade, but she couldn't attack her here. Not when the others were so close by. Mapleshade backed carefully out of the bracken, dragging the mouse. Its body was still warm, so the scent it left would seem fresh. Sure enough, she heard Frecklewish sniffing the air and uttering a low growl that suggested she picked up the trail. Mapleshade let the mouse scrape along the ground a little more before daring to pick it up and move forward with it dangling from her jaws. She couldn't risk to be seen by Frecklewish before she had reached Snake Rocks. Mapleshade deliberately pushed her way through the thickest undergrowth so that the mouse left a generous trail of scent. She hoped that her own scent would be lost among the general ThunderClan odors. She didn't think she had been out of ThunderClan long enough to smell unfamiliar. She could only just hear Frecklewish stalking her. The she-cat was one of the best hunters in ThunderClan, and moved as lightly as a butterfly's wing over a leaf-strewn underground. Suddenly, dark gray stones loomed over the stems of bracken. Mapleshade swerved, still carrying the mouse, which felt heavier and heavier in her jaws. She padded around the base of the rocks, rocks and emerged into the clearing on the other side. There was hardly any trace of cat scent. Clearly, the warriors were concerned that the adders might escape from their prison. Mapleshade hoped the snakes were still there, but had no time to check. She left the mouse on the ground and reached to the heap of smaller stones that had been piled in front of the adder's nest. She pushed aside as many as she could, leaving a gaping black hole, then ducked behind the border. Frecklewish emerged cautiously from the bushes, her jaws parted to scent the air, and fur bristling. She looked puzzled when she saw the dead mouse. Mapleshade sprung out from behind the rocks and snarled at her. "You let my kits die!" Frecklewish stumbled backwards in shock. "Mapleshade, you shouldn't be here!" She arched her back. "Leave, or I'll call the rest of the patrol!" Mapleshade lashed her tail. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw a tiny flicker of movement from the pile of stones. Was that a snake slithering into the light? Mapleshade took a step closer to the rocks. "Too scared to fight me yourself, Frecklewish?" she hissed. "You prefer watching helpless kids drown, don't you?" The brown she-cat stiffened. "I thought your kids would be saved," she rasped. "I never meant for them to die." Mapleshade sniffed. "I don't believe you. You're a fox-hearted coward. I believe you're glad they're dead." Frecklewish bounded towards Mapleshade, her eyes flashing with anger. "I wish you were dead," she spat. "You betrayed my brother's name." Mapleshade dodged sideways just as Frecklewish lunged at her. With a yelp, the she-cat stumbled into the pile of stones. Before she could find her footing, there was a hiss, and a sleek green head darted forward, tongue flicking. "Adder!" gasped Frecklewish. There was a blur of movement, then Frecklewish staggered backwards, screeching, "It bit me! Help!" "Just like you helped my kits," Mapleshade growled. "Never! I hope you die in agony." Frecklewish yowled again, a wordless shriek of pain. Almost at once, paw steps thrummed toward them through the trees. "Frecklewish, is that you?" called Bloomheart. Mapleshade slipped into a clump of bracken at the far side of the clearing. She knew she would flee before the patrol arrived, but she wanted to watch Frecklewish die. With a crackling of undergrowth, Bloomheart and two other ThunderClan warriors, Seed, Pelt, and Thrush Talon, burst into the clearing. "Keep watch for snakes," Bloomheart ordered. His clanmate spun around and scanned the rocks. Bloomheart bent over Frecklewish, who was curled on the ground with the paws over her eyes. "It's all right, Frecklewish. We're here now." "My eyes!" wailed Frecklewish. "I can't see." Bloomheart lifted his head. "Oh, StarClan, if ever we needed Ravenwing, it's now. Why did you take him from us?" Then he shook himself and faced his clanmates. "Seed Whisker, we need Soaked Moth as fast as you can. We have to watch the venom out of her eyes. Thrush Talon, fetch every scrap of fennel you can find in the medicine stores. We have to save Frecklewish's eyesight." The two warriors darted away. Bloomheart placed his paw on Frecklewish's flank. "Lie still," he meowed. "We're doing everything we can." "But ThunderClan doesn't have a medicine cat," Frecklewish whispered. "Am I going to die?" "Not on my watch," Bloomheart vowed. Mapleshade felt bile rise in her throat as her former mentor soothed the cat who had watched her kits drown. Frecklewish's eyes were a seeping, clouded mess. Even if she survived, she would never watch anything again. Mapleshade knew she had to leave before the rest of ThunderClan rushed to help Frecklewish. She crept through the undergrowth to the thickest part of the forest, then raced back to the two-legged fence. Cries of alarm filtered through the trees as more warriors arrived at Snake Rocks. The sounds faded as Mapleshade scrambled over the fence and crouched on the bare brown earth, panting. Only one voice echoed in her ears now. Patch Kit, her tiniest, most defenseless kit. "Help me, Mama!" Her daughter, Petal Kit, had found peace with her attack on Frecklewish. Like Lark Kit, her desperate cries had been silenced. For a moment, Mapleshade's breast was crushed beneath a wave of grief for the son and daughter she might never see again. Then she clenched her jaw and pictured the final cat who had to suffer for the death of her kits. "Not long now, Patch Kit," she vowed. "Soon you will be free."